Well, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders are facing off in 6 primaries in their first big test since last week, Super Tuesday. Michigan, which offers the most delegates, will be the biggest prize for the candidates that are looking to face Donald Trump in November.
Let's go live now to CNN reporter Brian Todd, who's in Missouri for us this morning. Brian, good to see you. Look, it really looks like Joe Biden is unstoppable, doesn't it?
Laura and Pete, it does look like that at the moment because Joe Biden has a lot of momentum going into this Super Tuesday #2 here in the United States. Biden, of course, winning the South Carolina primary and doing very, very well on Super Tuesday a week ago today, winning several states, including the state of Texas. Huge wins for Joe Biden. He looks to do well again here in Missouri. We've taken samples of some of the voters who have exited this polling place here at Webster Groves Recreation Center. We're just outside St. Louis, by the way, and we have picked up a lot of support for Joe Biden here. The question is Biden going to be able to keep his momentum that he won on Super Tuesday, that he won in South Carolina, and keep it going? Or is Bernie Sanders going to be able to kind of regain his foothold that he had so early on in the electoral process here in the primary season? That's going to be a big question here in Missouri and a big question in the state of Michigan. Can Bernie Sanders kind of recover that momentum, or is he going to be kind of knocked for a loop again? Because if Biden wins this state, Missouri, and if he wins Michigan later on, that could be really it for Bernie Sanders. He could really have a tough road ahead to try to win the nomination. A lot of voter energy here. It's very busy here at this precinct. The line goes out the door. It's been kind of off and on like that all day. A very smooth process here. You come in and you register on a what they call a poll pad. It's an electronic pad where you register with a stylus. Then they print a ticket out with your name and address, and they give you a paper ballot over here. You take that paper ballot to these voting booths here to your left, to my right, and that's where people cast their ballots. Then they put them in this tabulator back here where this man and his young daughter are kind of walking toward. This lady's about to put her vote in the tabulator over there. So very smooth process here in Missouri, and it's gone fairly well. Guys?
Yeah, Brian, can you give us a bit of a sense of historically where votes tend to go in places like Missouri? I mean, is this something that would favour Bernie Sanders, or would it be Joe Biden?
Well, what I can tell you is that overall, as far as the general election is concerned, that it does lean conservative in Missouri. Donald Trump does very well here. Republicans tend to do well here. But the state is seen right now as possibly swinging toward the Democrats. Now, in 2016, Hillary Clinton did win the primary in Missouri over Bernie Sanders, but it was not by very much. So the question here is, can Joe Biden capture the moderate vote here in Missouri, which he is expected to do? He is expected to do well here. Can he capture the African-American vote here in Missouri? That's of some question. We just interviewed a political analyst here who says that the African-Americans here, they like Sanders' message, they like what he stands for, but Joe Biden has been the one to carry the African-American vote so far. So that's going to be a big test here. Overall, guys, I would say the state does lean conservative in the general election, but it is seen as a possible battleground state in November. It could be very, very close between the Democratic nominee and the Republican.
Well, it certainly could be. And when you look at the pockets where Donald Trump won, right across the American Midwest, particularly in that belt in the middle, is he a chance of losing some of those voters this time around? I mean, from where we sit, it looks like he's in for another term, but Joe Biden might have a red-hot go, especially if in November he can win states like Michigan, right?
That's right. And, remember, in 2016, Donald Trump won Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. These are states that he was not supposed to win. So the Democrats really want to try to take those states back. Donald Trump won those late in the evening on election night 2016. He was not expected to win those. He had spent a lot of time campaigning there and really pushed it. Now, is he going to do that this time? Probably yes. Can Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders, whoever the nominee is, try to make another push and try to recapture those states for the Democrats? Those are going to be key. Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, here in Missouri. These are going to be the battleground states. These are the states that Donald Trump won in 2016, but not by a whole lot. So, it's going to be really key. That's why we cover these primaries so closely, to kind of gauge the temperature of the voters. Are they swinging a little bit more progressive to the left, in which case, of course, Sanders might do well, or are they staying kind of moderate in which case Joe Biden might do well, and Biden could then eat into Trump's support here in states like Missouri.
All right, well, live for us in Missouri this morning, Brian Todd, really appreciate your insight. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.